If you know anything about me, you probably know that my home park is the one, the only Valleyfair. Okay, it's not that good, but I still really enjoy every visit I have to this park. I really enjoy the atmosphere, rides, and just the overall experience. Just because I really like this park doesn't mean that it doesn't have any flaws, however, and the biggest one is definitely that this park hasn't gotten a new coaster in 18 years. I've been wanting to make a video on this topic for a really long time, and here it is. In this video, I will be talking about the problem, what new coaster I want to see at the park, and how this potential new coaster will shape the future of Valleyfair and the Six Flags chain as a whole. Without further ado, let's get started. As I already mentioned, Valleyfair hasn't gotten a new major roller coaster in 18 years, but there's more to this story. You see, this is the longest Valleyfair hasn't added a new major coaster since Renegade opened in 2007. In fact, they got new coasters pretty frequently for a park of their size. Their first roller coaster was High Roller in 1976 with the opening of the park, followed up by Corkscrew in 1980 just 4 years later. Granted, this was when Cedar Fair only had two parks, Cedar Point and Valleyfair, so it makes sense that they invested in both parks pretty equally since the company who now owns Valleyfair, Six Flags Entertainment Corporation, has over 40 different parks. As Cedar Fair grew, the investments at Valleyfair went down, and when 2007 came around, Cedar Fair was at an all-time high. They just got off acquiring the parks that were previously owned by Paramount, which included huge names such as Kings Island, Kings Dominion, and Canada's Wonderland. Cedar Fair realized these parks' markets and decided to start spending more money on them instead of the smaller and more underperforming parks, like Valleyfair. This would mark the end of new roller coasters at the park for the foreseeable future, ending with a bang in 2007 with Renegade, an absolutely amazing GCI wooden coaster. Valleyfair's investments would slow down a lot, and if they ever got new rides, they were always flat rides or water slides. That was until 2022, when Worlds of Fun announced a new roller coaster named Zambezi Zinger. This was huge news since Worlds of Fun hadn't gotten a new coaster for a long time, and because Worlds of Fun was a smaller Cedar Fair park. Then, the coaster community was shocked again with the announcement of the new for 2024 roller coaster Iron Menace at Dorney Park. This was another new investment at a small park, and it seemed that Cedar Fair was going down the line of the smaller parks in the chain, from largest smaller park to the smallest smaller park for investments. This would mean that Valleyfair was next, and they would get a new coaster in 2025, but 2024 came and went without the announcement of a new coaster, meaning that Valleyfair wouldn't get one in 2025 like everyone thought. After the disappointment that was 2024, 2025 came. Obviously there wasn't a new coaster at the park, but what did happen towards the end of the year was a teaser for a new water park expansion called Superior Shores, coming in 2026, which still hasn't been announced yet. Come on Valleyfair, do it already. Now 2026 is a special year for Valleyfair. It will be their 50th anniversary since the park's original opening. Usually for a park's 50th anniversary like this, they would do a big thing for it, like getting a new roller coaster. But in Valleyfair's case, they would be getting a water park expansion. This was unfortunate news for coaster enthusiasts, but for the whole of Valleyfair, it's a great investment in my opinion since their water park is lacking quite a bit. Now I have a theory on how this could help get Valleyfair a new coaster, but I will talk about that after I talk about my opinions on what new coaster they should get. There are many different options for what new coaster Valleyfair could get, so I'm going to be splitting this section into 3 parts. The first will be which coaster I think is the most likely option, the second is what would happen if they just went insane with this new ride, and then the last will be my personal favorite option for the park. Let's start with the first one, which I think is the most realistic option. In my opinion, it will be a B&M mini dive. Okay, I know that this is a really boring option, but sadly it's the most realistic one in my opinion. Six Flags loves their mini dives, and it seems that this would be a perfect fit for Valleyfair in their eyes. They are really crowd pleasing, and they always bring people into any park they go to, so even if it's an unfortunate option, it's still the most likely in my opinion. For the second one, I think the craziest they could do is a B&M Giga coaster. These are huge roller coasters that cost a ton of money, so it's incredibly unlikely for Valleyfair to get one, but if they did, okay, it's not happening. My good friend EK Thrills actually made a concept for a Valleyfair Giga coaster, so if you want to check it out, I'll post a link to the video in the description. Also subscribe to his channel, he makes great content. Okay, now for my personal favorite pick for the park. I would love to see a launched gerstlauer Infinity coaster here. I've been on Monster at Adventureland, and it was one of the most fun rides I've ever been on, but it also showed me the crazy and awesome elements that Gerstlauer puts on their coasters. I think that a launch one there would be awesome since Gerstlauer is known for their punchy LSM launches, and if you followed that up with a range of whippy inversions, hang time, and airtime, that would be one awesome ride. They're also lacking a real launch coaster, and they haven't gotten a new coaster with inversions since 1980, which makes this an even better option. We've talked about the slowdown of coasters at the park and what new coaster they could get, but what we haven't talked about is the future of the park after this new coaster. The first thing that I think is worth mentioning is that the water park expansion could mean big things for this park. It shows that Six Flags actually notices this park, and that could mean that there are new investments on the way. I think that the drought of new rides at the park was possibly to see how it would perform without new investments, and that there could be new investments on the way after the water park expansion. This is all just a theory, however, and it could very well be wrong. Now let's talk about what could happen after this new potential coaster. I already said this, but it could mean that new rides and expansions could come to the park. Another thing, however, is that it could bring more investments to smaller parks in the Six Flags chain. Think Michigan's Adventure, La Ronde, Frontier City, and Great Escape. Those could all get new investments if the potential new Valleyfair coaster does well. Also, more people might come to Valleyfair to ride it, if it's good of course, which could mean that even more people will come to Valleyfair if they see something saying the ride is good. This would be incredible since nobody really talks about Valleyfair on the internet, so it would bring a lot of attention to this underrated park. Well, those are my thoughts on the pretty uncertain future of Valleyfair. I truly hope the park gets a new coaster. Like, come on, Renegade's literally 18 years old. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe. Also, if you want to talk with me and other coaster enthusiasts, be sure to join EK Thrills and I's joint Discord server with the link in the description. Have a great day!